Canes fans, what's going on? Peter Ariz here from CanesInsight.com, taking a look at the Miami Hurricanes 2024 schedule release. Just came out a few moments ago. Of course, an extremely pivotal season for the Miami Hurricanes and head coach Mario Cristobal entering his third year, 5 wins year one, 7 wins this last season. Looking to get to that 10-win mark. I don't think that people are going to be very happy if there's anything less than that. And of course, with the transfer portal the way it is now, very hard to really dissect game by game and look at the players on the roster and how Miami matches up. But nonetheless, always exciting to get these dates, figure out when Miami's going where, start to book your trips. There's some fun away games this year. The first thing that sticks out to me, other than the fact that I want you guys to like this video and subscribe to the channel, of course, as we have this content coming out multiple times a week here on the YouTube page, as well as CanesInsight.com. But Miami, of course, starting at Florida, going to be a ton of hype, ton of headlines about that game all off season long. Billy Napier and the Gators aren't in the best situation right now, but you have to believe that they'll be coming ready to play for that one. Of course, Miami going to Gainesville. First time since 2009. Of course, that Tim Tebow team, great team. Miami went down there, was a very young roster with that baby Bulls, Miami Northwestern roster. Robert Marv, Ja'Cory Harris were splitting time in that game. I was there in Gainesville. I'll be there again this year. Excited for that road trip. Dragonfly Sushi. We're hearing very good things about that spot, so gonna have to check it out. Miami doesn't leave the state of Florida for the first month. After Florida, you have FAMU at home, Ball State at home, and then going on the road to South Florida, which I believe Miami played them a few years back, more than a few years back now. But Ryan Williams came into that game, had a good showing. I want to say Stacey Coley scored a touchdown in that game. So funny remembering some of these random moments, but I believe that was the last time Miami went on the road to South Florida. And again, not going to leave the state of Florida for that first month, although you do have 2 away games there. You're not leaving the state. Then you have Virginia Tech at home the next week after that. So really the first 5 weeks of the season, you're going to be in the state of Florida. Then, of course, making that cross-country trip at Cal, been a game that people have been excited about. Obviously, nice area out there, nice place to go visit as an away game. As Miami going to be playing these West Coast teams coming into the ACC here in the over these next couple of years. New territory, fun trips. I want to say the last time Miami played them was in that Emerald Bowl years ago. Javid Best was running back for Cal. Miami lost that game as it was a bowl game, so Miami in recent years has not had much success there. But Cal quarterback Fernando Mendoza, connection there is that he's a Columbus guy, Columbus kid who won Pac-12 Freshman of the Week near the end of the season last year. Obviously, Coach Cristobal, Coach Mirabal have their ties to Columbus, but that's an interesting one right there. You got to believe he'll be fired up and ready to play for that one. After the Cal game, Miami has a bye week, first bye of the season. Then going to Louisville, that we understand Louisville has been recruiting really well, had an awesome season last year, came in and beat Miami here at Hard Rock. But expect Louisville to continue to build the way that things are trending right now and become a really strong program. They've always been kind of a thorn in Miami's side, especially on the recruiting end of things. But I'd expect them to continue to get stronger and stronger the next year or so. Then, of course, the game, other than the Florida game that everyone is really circling on this schedule right now, Florida State at home. Everyone remembers what happened a couple years ago when Florida State came to town. Should not be as strong of a Noles roster this season. Again, very early still in this off season. But the portal, and there's going to be still some movement, but that Florida State team does not look the same. They'll be coming to Miami, to Hard Rock Stadium, and you better believe that place will be fired up. So that one is circled without a doubt for this team and for everyone around the program, right? After that, you have Duke at home. So Florida State and Duke at home. After Duke, you go to Georgia Tech, to Atlanta. That's a game that a lot of people always travel to. Atlanta. Easy trip, hub of the South. Good food out there. So another easy trip. I expect to see a lot of Canes fans out there. I've made that trip a few times. Always have a great time out there. Have another bye after that. So the two byes are sandwiched. You have a month in between those two byes. Then you have Wake Forest at home for Senior Day, and then at Syracuse in the Carrier Dome, which obviously it's going to be cold up there when the team travels, but it's an indoor stadium there. And Miami basketball just lost there the other day, but hopefully the football program, the football team finishes the season off strong there. Couple other interesting notes here. It doesn't, and look, Atlanta in November, early November can get cold, but it doesn't really look like you have any cold weather games on the schedule. We had that Boston College game at the end of last season that everyone was trying to figure out how this team would respond in that weather. Did a good job of that, obviously, but then Syracuse, it's indoors. So there's that weather really won't come into play there. But yeah, this is going to be a season that Mario Cristobal is really, really judged on. Obviously, Cam Ward coming in at the quarterback spot. Offensive line should continue to be a strength of this team. Going to probably add some guys at the skill positions offensively and defensively at defensive back for sure. But a lot of important pieces coming back for this Miami team. Losing some guys, losing a Cam Kitchens, losing a James Williams, a Leonard Taylor at defensive tackle. Although he didn't have huge sack numbers, is a guy who had a bigger impact than I think people realize in terms of eating up a lot of the blocks in there. But at the end of the day, they're replenishing at that spot with CJ Clark, Marley Cook, and others, Justin Scott, Artavis Jones. So they should be fine at interior defensive line. Not going to go through the whole roster here again, but Miami, Mario Cristobal, looking ahead here to the 2024 schedule, can they crack that 10-win mark? The schedule sets up for them to have a real opportunity to do so. First game of the season, everyone's excited for that one, though. At Florida. And then once they take care of business there, we'll see what happens. Canes fans, thank you all for listening. Again, CanesInsight.com. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned.